here's to who knows what. Every twist, every turn, every rise, every fall, we take the risks and we learn to do the right thing and make the right call. We can glide on the smooth, we can ride through the rough if we breathe out truth and we breathe in love. Is it the end of the world? Possibly. No, it's the start of a new one, they say. But have you seen anyone with a policy?
Yeah.
Better than keeping your fingers crossed all day. But let's not be afraid in the eye of the storm, where the relentless parade has been halted for who knows how long. We can still be close. It will be enough if we breathe out hope and we breathe in love as we shelter in place and let go of all that stuff. Let us breathe out grace and let us breathe in love.
Who?
You. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Sing with us. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Welcome everybody. Particularly want to welcome Papa Mirel. Thank you for joining us as our special collaborator and musical guest. It's really lovely to actually be together as more than one community. And we welcome you, Chava. For those of you who don't know Papa Mirel, you might be based in Seattle, Washington, but your musical influence goes around America and beyond. You play within the Reform movement, but many people outside the movement know you, and even though you bring a lot to the Jewish music scene, that is not the only string on your bow. And so we really appreciate you. Yeah, that's not bad intro, right? We really appreciate you being here. I do want to add a few other people to the introductions. And of course, my co-collaborators. We've got a few of you over at Ner Tamid. I want to add Rabbi Sandy Axelrod and Cantor Jessica Hutchings. And we've got Rabbi Cookie Olshine, who is the resident rabbinic scholar at Ner Tamid. And then, of course, my partner in crime over at Temple Sinai, Heather Klein. And so all of us have been working on this together. Just so you know, there's a guy called Eric McCall who's working in the background. And we really appreciate you helping us out. We're all fingers and thumbs when it comes to the technological aspect of this. So we really appreciate your assistance. I'm going to hand over to Rabbi A to introduce our next guest.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Cohen. So this is a wonderful way to collaborate between our two congregations. To have Chava here too, and I know that we have people literally from coast to coast joining us. So welcome everyone, and we're wishing you a Zisen Pesach, a sweet Passover, and we hope that the feelings that we engender through this virtual Seder are communicated to your homes wherever you might be, so that you feel the importance, the power, and the love of this particular holiday. One of the things that makes Passover so important is the memories that we create. And so we thought it would be sweet to intersperse in this virtual Seder some opportunities for people to share a Passover memory. Sometimes it'll be by video, and sometimes it might be via Zoom. So let's go ahead with our first video. This is going to be Lori Frankel sharing a Passover memory.
Chag Pesach Sameach, happy Passover, have a joyous Passover. So Rabbi asked me to talk about a couple of things that we do in our family that have become kind of tradition. One thing that I always do is I use my mom's fine china. We only bring it out once a year to use for our meat dishes. And it's the most beautiful pattern, and I just have really good memories of using that as our Passover dishes when I was growing up. Another tradition that our family does is we were looking at different Passover traditions in other countries. And in one of the Middle Eastern countries, they take a green onion, and when we're singing Dayenu, we use it as the whip, and we, sing Dayenu, and, it's all in good fun unless you're the kids, and then they're really trying to kill each other. Another favorite memory is just from 2 years ago. My granddaughter, we always have a lot of family and friends. My daughter-in-law, is very creative. And we had so many people that we did it outside in the backyard, and it was just the perfect evening. It was just so lovely. And you could, it wasn't windy. We all had plenty of space, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful Seder. And then another favorite memory is I'm from here, and so I have all my nieces and nephews here, and so we've always had pretty big Seders. When my kids were kids, we had them with our cousins, and now our families have grown. But my niece, Kelly, she got really creative, and she had all of the kids dress up as the plagues. So one of the kids dressed in red. They were blood, obviously. Somebody dressed all in black. So right before we got to saying the plagues, they're like, hold on. And they all ran and they changed. And a couple of the kids were wearing white t-shirts, and they had put like the bovine spots for cattle, and they got down on their backs when it was time, and it was just a fun evening. So I have a lot of wonderful memories, and I hope you will have your own Passover memories as well, that one day I can that you can share with me.
So I just want to get us to think about some of that, I'm going to actually put you in breakout rooms in a second, and you're going to discuss and just share with each other for a few minutes the thing that I've just put in the chat, your favorite Seder or family gathering memory. And so it's going to be totally at random. You've no idea who you're going to end up with, and it'll be nice to meet some more people. And hopefully there'll be a little bit of cross-pollination between Ner Tamid and Temple Sinai people. That would be really nice. So if you get an invitation in a second to go into a breakout room, then please jump on that invitation, jump on the invite. And so I'll see you in a few minutes and go.
Rabbi Cohen, how long will they have in the breakout room?
5 minutes, in 5 minutes.
Okay.
If someone in your group after a minute or so hasn't had a chance to say something, then give them that opportunity. All right, everybody, I'll see you in a few. Let me just.
Busted, so it doesn't matter anyhow.
Here we go. So that's right, folks. You should see on your screen opportunity to jump into a breakout room. So please take that opportunity right now. So I realize there's still a few people with us. Totally up to you. If you don't want to go in a breakout room, no worries. But if you do, then there should be the opportunity somewhere on your screen to do so. All right, Jessica and Sandy, I'll be back in a second. All righty.
Shan's service and then next, I want
Well, this is what I was hoping.
But I know who.
We're talking in the other people in the room.
Now what are we doing?
Hi.
We mute ourselves again.
Oh, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Barbara.
My
Hi,
goodness.
Ed.
Hello, Edward. I see you.
Randy.
Hello.
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 Nice to meet new people.
Oh, I guess.
Yes, nice to meet
So
you.
we continue in our service now as we light the festival candles.
Hello.
It is customary to light 2 candles for the festival, though some maintain the custom of lighting 1 candle for each member of the household. We are reminded of the insight from Rabbi Abraham Isaac Cook, who taught everyone must know that a candle burns within them. No one's candle is identical to anyone else's, and there is no human being without a candle. One must strive to reveal the light of one's own candle publicly in order that the whole world may benefit from it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel yom tov.
Source of blessing, God of eternity, your majestic might fills the universe. You teach us pathways to holiness, among them the mitzvah of bringing light to this festival.
We continue together now for the Karpas and turn to page 23 as we read Arise, My Love.
Just to say, if people don't have the Kindle version of the Haggadah in front of them, then just in the chat there, we've got the stuff.
Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter's past and the rain is gone. The flowers appear on earth, the time of singing is come, and the voice of the turtle is heard. The fig tree bringeth forth her green figs, and the vines in blossom bring forth their fragrance. Arise, arise, my love, my fair one, come away. Arise, my love, come away. Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away, and come away.
So I don't know if everybody here has got the accoutrement of the Seder, but I am currently dipping the parsley in the salt water a good couple of times. And we're going to, on page 22, do the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'adamah. Okay, enjoy that.
On page 26, we are at the Yachatz section, and we are getting ready with our matzot. We say, now we break the middle matzah in 2, hiding the larger portion as the afikomen. After our Seder meal, we will share this broken piece, as in ancient times, families shared the Pesach offering in Jerusalem. Among many peoples and cultures, breaking bread signifies friendship. For the sake of redemption, ours and the world's, we pray together hallowed words that connect us to Jews everywhere. And to all who are in need, the stranger and the lost, the hungry and the unjustly imprisoned, for our redemption is bound up with theirs and with the deliverance of all people. The middle matzah.
So we take our plate of 3 matzot, we uncover it, and we raise for all to see. The middle matzah is broken in 2, the smaller piece returned, and the larger piece, the afikomen, wrapped and hidden for the children's search after the meal.
Halach ma'anya, here, this is the bread of affliction. Here is the bread our ancestors ate in the land of Egypt. Anyone who is hungry, come in and eat. Anyone who is in need, come and find a place at our Pesach table. Now we are here, next year in the land of Israel. Now we are slaves, next year free, liberated people. We take that theme and we find a beautiful video that Chava's produced. We look forward to hearing this beautiful song of Halach Ma'anya.
Halach ma'anya diachalu, achalu avatana, be'ara be'ara demitzrayim, be'ara be'ara demitzrayim, kol tichvin yetevechu, kol titzrich yetevehivsach hashatacha l'shana haba barad Yisrael hashata avdei l'shana haba b'nei chori.
All right, well, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. So now we have 4 very important questions to ask, and I believe we're going to be starting with those in the Wertheimer house. So we're gonna look for that. We're gonna spotlight Magnolia, and I don't know if Meyer's leading too. And then we're going to move to Delaney and then to Madison.
Ma nishana halayla hazeh mikol halelot shebehol halelot anu ochnim hametzu matzah halayla hazeh kulo matzah halayla hazeh kulo matzah shebehol halelot anu ochlim she'ar yirakot halayla hazeh maror halayla hazeh maror.
Going to Delaney Cantor.
Okay, I need to get it. One moment, please.
we doing Havadim? Yes.
Okay. Shebehu halelot on ano matbilinu afilu ha'am ehat halayla hazeh shetafamim.
And Madison, back to the original camera.
Madison is in the bathroom. So
Magnolia, take it away.
Shebeho halelot anu ben yasvinu ben mesubim ben yoshinu ben mesubim halayla hazeh kulanu mesubim halayla hazeh kulanu mesubim. Q.
Thank you so much. And on to our Temple Sinai friends for the English translation.
We've got that right in the chat. And so what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the 4 children to hear from them. And with that in mind, we've got Daniela Woloshin, who's going to help us out with that.
All right, read it. They're at your parents' house, though, not hers. Go ahead. Go ahead, honey. Read it, Danny. Read it. And you start reading.
4 children. There are wise sons and daughters. What do they say? What are the testimonies, the ethical and ritual obligation which are
eternal God requires?
Yourself shall teach them all the practice of Pesach up to the final rule. After the Seder, we do not turn on other food or entertainment. There are sons and daughters who reject our rituals and traditions. What do they say? What is the Seder
ceremony to you?
To you and not to us. By rejecting the community, they have
denied the essence of Jewish life.
You in turn shall respond with conviction and say to them, this is because of what the
Eternal
did for me when I went forth from Egypt, for me and not for you. If you had been there, you would not have been redeemed. There are sons and daughters who are simple. What do they say? What is this? And you shall say to them with a mighty hand, the eternal freed us from Egypt, from the house of oppression. There are sons and daughters who do not know how to act with them. You must take the initiative as tourist teachers. You shall tell your child on that day, saying, this is because of what the Eternal did for me when I went forth from Egypt.
Yeah, good job. Beautifully done, Daniela. Thank you so much. Let's hear that simple rendition of our Pesach story. Avadim Hayinu, we were slaves, now we're free.
Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin, you can clap. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin,
Wonderful, thank you. We're going to hear a story of freedom from Michael Martin.
Unmute?
Yeah, you're muted.
Okay, thank you. First of all, happy Passover, everyone. And I want to thank the rabbi, obviously, for letting myself and my son, Sam, be involved tonight. Freedom can be very complicated. It's something that we often take for granted, but it's also something that can be fleeting and rare. And, you know, as a country, we enjoy incredible amounts of freedom that the world envy, but we often feel sometimes constraints, and we complain about these very same freedoms. And as a person, I can say that I only truly, really feel free when I'm with my family, because they know me, they know me warts and all, and I can be who I truly am without censoring myself, and they'll still love me. When I visualize physical freedom, I think of a bird, like a hawk flying through the air, soaring, not a care in the world, you know, dipping and diving, and I think that's, for me, when I feel like that, it's like being in the first car of a roller coaster, you know, hands in the air, screaming and plunging and soaring as well. And, you know, back in the day, before family and responsibility and having a motorcycle, no helmet, flying down the road, the tears streaming down your eyes, and that was a true sense of freedom as well. You know, I graduated from that into a convertible because, again, wanted to feel the wind, wanted to feel that sense of freedom as I soared, you know, down the road, Springsteen blaring, and just singing along and laughing and having fun. You know, the other things are, you know, whether you know, skiing is another one, flying down the mountain on your skis. I had a great time in my youth of skydiving. That's another great sense of freedom, jumping out of a plane and screaming, and then the chute pops, and next thing you know, you're just gliding down to the earth again, kind of like a bird, just have that great sense of joy and freedom. I think that's probably why when during the summers in college, I took advantage of the fact of taking some flying lessons, and being in New York, living in New York, it was beautiful. I'd fly up and down the Hudson River, and I'd see the city at night, and I'd see the Hudson Valley at sunset, and it was just a gorgeous sense. But I remember my instructor always barking orders at me, like, you know, watch your altitude, trim your flaps, you know, watch your nose, all these things, and it kind of interfered with the freedom a little bit. And then I'll never forget this day. It was we were doing what they call touch and goes, which is where you come in for a landing and then you come right back up and take off again. And we stopped at this one point, and then all of a sudden he opened the door and he got out, and he goes, okay, now do a few on your own. And I took off, and I remember just looking up at the sky, just feeling amazing. And then the best part was I looked over to my right, and he wasn't there. And I let out a holler like, I still remember it to this day. It was just this great sense of freedom. And it's so funny because my son, he'll always ask me, he goes, who's your favorite superhero? And we have this conversation a lot. Who's your favorite superhero, Dad? And I always say the same person, no matter what. I always say Superman. Why? Because he can fly. So that's my little story about freedom. And thank you again.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Mike. That's beautiful. Rabbi Axelrod, why don't we just...
That was beautiful, beautiful thoughts about freedom, Michael. So now I think, Rabbi Cohen, we want to talk just briefly about this whole concept of 4 sons, or really 4 children. It's interesting. I have a Talmud class, and we were studying this past week how Judaism implemented universal education 2,000 years ago. And it was so important to the rabbis that every single Jewish child would know about Judaism. But even before that, you go all the way back to the Bible, and the thing that started this whole holiday of Passover was the notion that we had to, oh, someone's got to mute themselves. All right. The whole notion of Passover is that we have to teach to our children and subsequent generations how we became a people. And oftentimes, those of us who live today, we think, you know what, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, they didn't distinguish between different types of children. Not so. We may not have used the same labels that we do today, but the rabbis realized that students learn in a different way. And the important thing is getting down to the level of that child, how they learn, how they understand, and finding what is it that touches their heart about being Jewish. And if you can't find something right away, perhaps there's patience, there's hope, and there's time.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just want to point out something, Rabbi A. I just put this lovely reading in the chat just now from the new Haggadah, and it says 4 talked about the pine tree. 1 defined it by genus, species, and variety. 1 assessed its disadvantages for the lumber industry. 1 quoted poems about pine trees in many languages. And 1 took roots, stretched out branches, and rustled. And for me, that just short reading has given us an insight, which adds to your one. We seem to be labeling those folks, right? Those young people, the people in the 4 children section that Daniela read so beautifully earlier. Well, actually, it's more complicated than that. All of these different aspects of us, these different character traits are within us, depending on the mood, depending on the week, depending on what we're going through in our lives. And by the way, one last thing, Rabbi Axelrad, I was thinking that if you're looking at the reading that I put in the chat just now, you know, maybe you only identify with some of those things. But one way of thinking about the 4 children section of the Haggadah is think, well, which of those children are you not like? And maybe you want to become a little bit more like, and to find those pieces within yourself that are not used so. So I want to bring back Heather into the picture. And we're actually going to just look at something I've just put in the chat, and we're also on page 91 if you're following along in the Haggadah, and we're going to go back and forth between myself and Heather. A drop of wine
For the pharaohs within.
A drop of wine.
For brutality that blots out beauty.
A drop of wine.
For rage that overwhelms our awe.
A drop of wine.
For caring more about the mastery of life than the mystery of life.
A drop of wine.
For the extinction of herds and flocks, swarms, flights, and shoals of creatures.
A drop of wine.
For the virus of hatred without cause.
A drop of wine.
For the blight of blood violence and abuse.
A drop of wine.
For silence that lets evil prevail.
A drop of wine.
For darkness that shuts out the light of reason.
And on this night, this season of hope, a drop of wine.
For every child in grief and pain. In this place and in every place, for you we choose life and blessing, the death of hunger, ignorance, and affliction.
So we're going to go back one page to page 90, and I want everybody to grab their cup of wine for the more traditional version of the 10 plagues. And all you need to do, folks, no heavy lifting, you just need to, unless it's a particularly large peak. Wow, Mike, you've got a really big glass of wine there. We're just going to take a little bit of our joy every time you mention one of those plagues. Okay, so you repeat after us. Dam,
Lud, Svardea,
Ardea,
Kinim,
nice. Arov,
Kever,
Shrin,
Barad,
Arbe,
Choshech.
Makatz Bechorot.
Okay, don't lick that finger, folks, please.
So as we continue in our Seder, both of our congregations have come together to put together some videos. And the first one that we're going to show you is a video of lots of people jumping around. I think you will get the point and feel the Passover soul in this. So I'll turn it over to Eric.
One morning when Pharaoh woke in his bed, there were frogs in his bed and frogs on his head, frogs on his nose and frogs on his toes. Frogs here, frogs there, frogs were jumping everywhere. On a Pesach we eat matzah, lots of matzah. It's yummy in our tummy, lots of matzah. Do 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 do. On a Pesach we eat chicken, finger licking chicken. It's yummy in our tummy, finger licking chicken, and lots of matzah. Do 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 do. On a Pesach charoset, sticky charoset. It's yummy in our tummy, sticky charoset, and hot horseradish, and roll matzah balls, and smelly in the belly got filter fish, and finger licking chicken, and lots of matzah. Do 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 do.
That was so fun. All right, so I have my Dayenu earrings on just for you, Hava, because it would be enough just to have you here and do nothing else, just to have Hava.
we need the earrings.
Well, it would be enough if you had just worn your Dayenu
Right.
earrings this year, but we're gonna also sing about Dayenu.
Sounds good.
Ilu hotzi anu mi mitzrayim hotzi anu mi mitzrayim Dayenu 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 Ilu natan lanu et Shabbat natan lanu et Shabbat Day. Clap your hands. Die Dayenu 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 Dayenu. One more time. Dayenu 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 Dayenu
Beautiful. So another memory. Shauna Brody has taken the time to record a Passover memory.
Hi, I'm Shauna with Congregation Ner Tamid. Happy Passover. I'm so glad we're doing something together in spite of this pandemic. I've wanted to share some of my favorite parts of Passover. Really, it's the cooking, having guests over, and then selecting which Haggadah I'm going to use for that particular evening. I've got so many Haggadahs, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have a Seder every night of the week if I'm going to use them all. So, of course, early on started out with the traditional Passover Haggadah that has some, graphics and attempts to be interesting, but it's pretty not, it's just the old story. Then I found a family Haggadah for Reformed Jews at a friend's Seder. It also had, attempts to have pictures and different things to enliven it, but it adds social justice basically to the discussion. So for instance, when talking about slavery in modern days and what are we slaves to, it actually has a prayer to that hopefully Soviet Jews will be freed soon. Then Cantor Hutchings came to our temple and her first or second year hosted a Seder of some kind midweek, and she had the unorthodox Haggadah. And I thought, oh my gosh, they're making interesting Haggadahs now, or Haggadot. So I started my Haggadah shopping because sometimes it can go very long if you do the whole Seder, and it can be, you need to have something to wake you up. And the unorthodox certainly does that. And then a couple of years ago, Stand With Us published what has got to be one of the most beautiful Haggadahs ever published, and again brings in a lot of social justice and a lot of current history in terms of Judaism and Jews, our history. And then on JewBelong.com offered a Haggadah that has some new things added in it, and including prayers for those at our table who are not Jewish, because we all have somebody at our table usually who's not Jewish, and it's nice to have them included. And of course, every single year I have 14 pages of Passover songs that are to the tunes of songs that we all know, so everybody around the table can sing along. And I'm looking forward to next year because I'm hoping we all get to be together. I want to see you either at my table or me at your table or the group Seder at Ner Tamid. Have a happy year and a happy Seder. Thank you.
Continue. Go ahead, unmute me. Continue on 114. Is that correct, Rabbi Cohen?
We're 100. Yes, absolutely. For the second cup of wine.
All right. For the second cup of wine. With the second cup, we recall the second promise of liberation.
As it is said, I will save you from their forced labor. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
Source of blessing, sovereign God of eternity, you have redeemed us and our ancestors from Egypt and brought us to this night on which we taste matzah and maror.
All right, wonderful. We're going to just get to really some of the heart of the Haggadah. By the way, Laura Coleman says she'll have to share her Haggadah for her chocolate Seder. Okay, it's amazing. That sounds absolutely incredible. Please, Laura, very generous person anyway. We'd love you to do that. We're on page 131 if you have the Haggadah, but it's right there in the chat, the reading that we're about to do.
We continue on 131 with our Passover miracle. That we find our spring selves again, shed the thick protective layers of winter that shield but separate us from the world out there. We sit at the Seder table tired, yes, from all the work of preparation, but hoping to be refreshed, hoping in spirit to be refreshed. Sitting at the Seder table, we encounter our younger selves, wide-eyed, asking questions. We become each year once again the four sons, daughters, childlike, spring-like, ready each year once again to go out from Egypt. With nothing but a pack on our back, ready to walk once again out into the wilderness in search of our freedom and our God.
So if you have that Haggadah on 128, and if you have a shank bone in front of you, now will be the time, okay, to point to it. The Pesach offering is what our ancestors ate when the temple stood. What is its meaning? It reminds us that the Holy One passed over, Pasach, the homes of our ancestors in Egypt, as it is written, you shall say it is a Pesach offering for Adonai, who passed over the homes of the Israelites in Egypt when God struck the Egyptians, but spared our houses. And over on page 130, can everyone make sure they have matzah near them, that they raise it up? I've got a matzah cloth made by my children when they were about 2. It's a stunning piece of artwork. This matzah we eat, what is its meaning? It reminds us that the dough prepared by ancestors had no time to rise before the Holy One redeemed them. As it is written, they baked unleavened cakes with the dough, and they were driven out of Egypt and could not delay, nor did they prepare any provisions for themselves. And just fast forward a second to page 138 to 136, and we're going to point to the maror, bit of a wuss, so I've got a very small piece. This bitter herb that we eat, what is its meaning? It reminds us that the Egyptians embittered the lives of our ancestors in Egypt. As it is written, they made their lives bitter with harsh labor, with mortar and bricks and toil in the fields, all the labor they ruthlessly.
And we turn to page 132. Tonight, we link ourselves to all those driven from their homes by poverty or war as we fulfill the mitzvah. For 7 days you shall eat matzah, the bread of affliction. So you will remember the day you left Egypt, all the days of your life. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat matzah. And now we're going to turn to something very special that our two congregations came together to prepare. And it's not a traditional song for Passover, but it is a song about how we measure this year. And we measure it even after everything is said and done. We measure it in the love that we have for one another, for ourselves, for our community. And so I am delighted to share this piece with you, this piece, Seasons of Love from Rent, from our two congregation choirs.
So, so thrilled to have heard that with everybody on here. It feels so special. So many people coming together to do something about love and just bring love to this beautiful moment where we all share this holiday together. So with that, I'm just so thrilled to be able to introduce Chava Morel. As you've all already heard her beautiful voice, but not only does she have a wonderful voice, but she's also a wonderful person. So, and that's what makes the voice sound so good. And that's what we know. So we're thrilled to have her. Not only does she sing all around the country, but now we can say she's a Grammy Award winning artist. And we're so proud of you. And we're thrilled to have you for today. So for our symbolic meal, Chava is going to give us a concert, and we're all going to take it all in like a delicious meal. Thank you, Chava.
Thank you so much. I'm like crying right now because that video was so beautiful, and I'm so moved by your beautiful congregations and the collaboration and connection between you. So just like, don't mind me. I'm a crier, okay? So if you're a crier too, then just cry along with me. And I want to start by, I'm going to put my screen, even though I'm spotlighted, I'm going to put it on gallery because I like to see all the people. And if you're one of the people who like to see all the people, then you can put it on gallery too. And once you have it on gallery, you can lean in a little bit, lean your face in, because, you know, the human brain responds to being close to other people in a certain way. And for some reason, even on Zoom, we can do it. If you get close enough that you can see the other people's eyes, and then you start to smile at each other, and it's a great thing. You know, we haven't been together in a long time, but here we are. Still here. So I'm going to sing a song about how quickly it is that we can connect with each other, even faster than any other thing can spread. Love can spread, just like this. We don't have to go out of the safety of our own homes to be able to have connections with other people. And this song I co-wrote with a dear friend who, unfortunately, she passed away in just this last month. She sent me some words, a beautiful poem of inclusion, a welcoming. It was a baruch that she wrote. She said, "Would you like to write this baruch with me?" Her name is Stacy Zizek Robinson, and everything I do now, I just dedicate in her memory and the passion that she shared with our community. She's actually a published Jewish poet, and she wrote a lot of the poetry, our modern poetry, in our liturgy today. So I share this with you. It's an adapted Baruch. It's not really going to sing the Baruch part, but this is a welcome for all of us. Come all of you, come all of us, and spread some love and kindness. Come all of you, come all of us, and spread some love and kindness. Spread it with the rising sun, spread it in a river of blessings, spread it in this moment now and every now to come. Spread it with the rising sun, spread it in a river of blessing, spread it in this moment now and every now to come. Come all of you, come all of us, spread some love and kindness. Come all of you, come all of us, spread some love and kindness. If you're like me, then you have gotten pretty good this year at conjuring up the image of loved ones and sending blessings out to them. You know, I haven't seen some of my friends and loved ones in person for a while. I've seen them like this on Zoom and other ways. But sometimes I just, someone comes to mind and I send out a little blessing, boop, just like press the button and I know they receive it, doot, like they get a little notification or something. It's a spiritual notification. So conjure up whatever blessing comes to your heart right now, and whoever's face comes into your mind. It could be someone here or someone far away, someone right next to you. And or it could be even you. You're right here too. You can send one to you. So let's send the blessings, and I'm going to sing these words with all of our blessings attached to it. May we be blessed under the wings of divine compassion. And may we be safe in the embrace of everlasting love. Come all of you, come all of us, spread some love and kindness. Come all of you, come all of us, spread some love and kindness. So I take a deep breath to kind of get myself grounded and centered. So if you want to join me, just I was talking to my friend Heidi, who I met in the breakout room. She told me she comes to Ner Tamid on Friday nights. Pre-pandemic, she would come every Friday night, and she still comes during the virtual. And she says it helps her to feel more grounded and centered. Does that help? Does that resonate with you too? So let's get grounded and centered. We're here, we're here in our space that makes us feel like, we're plugging into connection. So let's take a moment to just feel it, and just to feel that connectedness between ourselves. I've been strongly influenced by composers that came before me, especially the women like Debbie Friedman, may her memory be a blessing. And, some who are no longer with us, some still living, that women can write songs and impact culture in such a strong and extreme way. And I'll talk about it more later, but I was really impacted by how not Debbie Friedman, but Nurit Hirsch. She's another female composer, and she wrote a song that everyone sings. I'm not going to sing it right now, but I'm going to tell you that you know it. And people from all the Jewish communities sing it. Orthodox, Ethiopian Jews. I mean, everyone. And everyone feels like it's their own personal one. Okay, so she wrote an Oseh Shalom, and I wrote an Oseh Shalom because I was so inspired by her. So I want to sing my one that I wrote. And this is... When we sing Oseh Shalom, it's always mistranslated in the Sidurim. It always says, may the one who creates peace in the high heavens make peace descend on us and all the world. And it's a little bit wrong. It's actually, if you look at the Hebrew, it actually says, the maker of peace, who makes peace, will make peace descend on us. It's like a prophecy, it's not an ask. I'm not asking, I'm telling. As I say to my kids sometimes, we're not asking, we're telling. We're saying, we believe this, even though it seems so outlandish because it's, never happened before in the history of humanity. But anyway, in my version, I do ask, because I know that we all need, connection, well-being, whatever it is actually that we need. You can fill in the blank. May we find blank, whatever it is for you. I give a couple suggestions in the song, but please feel free to put in your own as well. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael
ויושבי תבל וימרו אמן, וימרו אמן, וימרו amen, וימרו amen. And may we find peace, and may we find peace, and may we find peace, amen. And may we find love, and may we find love, and may we find love, amen. Amen, 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 amen. Amen, 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 amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ויושבי תבל וימרו אמן, וימרו אמן, וימרו amen, וימרו amen. And may we find peace, and may we find peace, and may we find peace, amen. And may we find love, and may we find love, and may we find love, amen. Amen, 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 amen.
Oh, bless you for singing with me. I could see and feel you. I want to thank my dear friends, colleagues, mentors, and heroes, sheroes, the Cantors, Heather and Jessica. I speak to them on a first name basis, but I know they are amazing Jewish professional clergy people, so I should call them by their last names. But I just want to thank them so much for welcoming me into this beautiful musical tradition that you have here. And when we planned this, they were just really excited about and passionate about you all, and just these vibrant communities. And they have so much love for you. So I know that it's mutual. And thank you so much to the rabbis too. We didn't get to work together behind the scenes that much, but I loved your beautiful leadership, and it was just such an honor to be here with your communities. Do y'all mind if I sing one more song before we stop? Okay, I'm gonna sing one more song. And this is the prayer that I have. My deepest wish, my most fervent desire is that each of us feel and know that we are surrounded by love and filled with infinite love at all times. And it's part of the human condition that it's hard for us to feel that sometimes. And so that's why it's my wish, because it's a reality. It's just a reality that we can't always perceive. And so may we each know and feel surrounded by that love that is our divine blessing in life.
Love, 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 love. Blessed love, holy love, sacred love, abundant love, source of love, let your love shine down on me. From below, from above, love I hope I'm worthy of. Oh, source of love, let your love shine down on me. Before the morning light, I already feel it shining. Before I open up my eyes, I already see it shining. When my road is rough, I can feel your love, and that's enough for me. Blessed love, holy love, sacred love, abundant love, source of love, let your love shine down on me. As above, so below, love from whom all blessings flow. Oh, source of love, let your love shine down on me. On me and the ones I love, shine from below and from above. Protect our families and be a light in me. Shine on me and the ones I love, shine from below and from above. Protect our families and shine through me. Be a light in me. Be a light in me. Love,
Thanks so much, Hava. We really appreciate that. That was lovely. You can see the applause all around the gallery. Now, I don't know if anybody actually ate anything. I could see some folks chowing down, and the last part of our meal would be the afikomen. And so to have the last part of our meal, the dessert, the afikomen, we actually need to look for it. So I don't know if anyone's looking for it in your house.
I'm doing that. I'm doing it.
I know you are, Daniela. I'm backing you, absolutely. Now, there's a few other people you're going to see on the screen right now who are also looking, Daniela.
1, 2. Where's the apple going? Where did you hide it? I'm gonna find it. Yeah, yeah. Where's the apple going? Where did you hide it? I'm gonna find it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where's the apple going? Where did you hide it? I'm gonna find it. Yeah, yeah. Where's the apple going? Where did you hide it? I'm gonna find it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you were lucky to find it, but I've got a little piece de Afikomen here. Success, victory is mine. That's fantastic. Now we've actually completed the meal. We can do grace after meals, a brief grace after meals, but no less beautiful for it. And I'm going to put the words right here in the chat.
We're going to continue together as we sing. Brich rachamana, malka de alma, mare de haipita. Brich rachamana, malka de alma, mare de haipita. Sing it with me. Brich rachamana, malka de alma, mare de haipita. Brich rachamana, malka de alma, mare de haipita.
And now we have our third cup of wine.
Together we take up our cups of wine to recall the third divine promise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
So I have an Elijah's cup right in front of me. And the thing about Elijah's cup is I actually have a son called Elijah who might actually be watching the Seder, and usually he's actually a dancer by trade and does a funky dance every time we get to this part of the service. So I don't know if you're out there, Elijah, you might be listening. So watch out for an amazing dancing Elijah somewhere on screen. We're on page 172, Elijah's cup. What is its meaning? Known as a miracle worker, Elijah is legendary for acts of kindness and healing and for raising up the poor and the weak. At the end of his days on earth, his disciple Elisha had a vision of Elijah carried aloft in a fiery chariot. Many are the folk tales of Elijah's return to earth to befriend and serve the sick, the helpless, and the suffering. Those tales, in which he often appears as a beggar or a sage, offer a glimpsed alternative to the rampant poverty and persecution that afflicted many Jewish communities. The vast storehouse of Elijah legends points to the messianic age of future redemption when the most difficult conflicts will be resolved. And indeed, Elijah is known as the forerunner of the Messiah, a messenger from God who inspires hope where there is grief and teaches humble faith where there is doubt and uncertainty. May the merciful send us Elijah the prophet, a messenger of hope, a sign of salvation, a voice of comfort. We remember him for his goodness. Wherever you are, just go and run and open the door. Today might be the day. This year might be the year. Don't delay. Go straight to the door, open it out. And on page 174.
We continue. The pages of many a Haggadah are stained with wine, a reminder that others were here before us, and like us, they spilled drops from their cups for the plagues upon Egypt. Stained as well are the pages of history, not with wine, but with tears and with blood. For after Egypt, our forebears knew other kinds of slavery, the shock of exile, the pain of persecution. Here at this table of abundance, we remember our people's despair, crusades, pogroms, and we pour out our hearts. Here at this feast of empathy for the stranger and the hungry, we remember our people's tragedies, Inquisition, Shoah, and we pour out our souls. Let these memories of despair and tragedy lead us to repair the world. Let us pour out our hearts and souls for the sake of Tikkun Olam.
And finally on page 176, and let Elijah's cup remain full, a symbol before our eyes until we've done our part of the holy work, bringing forth goodness and righteousness with our hands and minds and hearts.
And as we continue in the service, we're going to hand it back over to Chava to let us rejoice in Elijah's cup.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimhera ve'yameinu, Yavo Eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
So we've been telling these stories and memories of our Seder and of freedom. And so now we're going to hear from Sam Martin. He's going to tell us a story of freedom.
Hi. Freedom. So when I think of freedom, I think about the first time I went skiing. I didn't really know what to do, and it seemed like a lot of work and for like a little bit of time, and I honestly just didn't really want to do it. I learned how to like stop, and I learned how to keep going and to go slow, and it was really boring, and all I wanted to do was go home, and I thought it was okay. I didn't think I was ever going to do it again. And then like 8 years later, I recently tried it again, and this time I had better guidance, and I had more of a positive attitude, and I learned more than I did the first time. And I don't know how to describe it, but like the first time I went downhill by myself and I learned how to do it by myself. It felt really good to know that I could do something like this, that like something I see other people do, that I was getting there and that I could do this by myself without a trainer. And that's where I really I felt free. And that's what I described freedom as, because like I felt so free that I could do this whenever I want. I can come whenever I want, and I can just go downhill whenever I want and do whatever I want. I felt really free. It was only a starter hill, but like I looked up and I saw a much larger hill, and I saw people doing tricks, and I had like the biggest smile on my face, because I knew I couldn't get there in just 1 year, but I knew like I could get there one day, and it's so fun to even try and think about that. So I keep going every week, just so I can like get to that point where I can do that one day. And that's what freedom really means to me. And it's like, it doesn't just have to be like exciting like that. It's moments where like it could be fast when you're on like a roller coaster, or you're like flying a plane, or you're going to see someone you really are excited to see, or whether it's just like small moments where it's like you're petting your dog, or just like having a nice dinner with your family. You have to like take those moments, and you have to cherish them, because these people, they might not be around forever, and these things that you're doing might not ever happen again. So these are moments that you really feel free doing, and you don't have to do it, but you still choose to do it, which that means a lot to me. And it's just fun to do these types of things and not be judged. And the only person, like you have the choice to do it. No one's forcing you to do it. And that's what freedom means to me. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, it is my honor to introduce this video, Bechol Dor Vador Yatsa Mi Mitzrayim, that I'm honored to do with my colleague Heather Klein and our amazing musician Chava Morel. And this prayer is about, it says, in every generation, it is our duty to consider ourselves as if we had come from Egypt, come forth from Egypt. So what does that mean to you? What does it mean to experience our own Egypt? So I'll let you listen to the melody and think about that.
בכל דור ודור חייב האדם לראות את עצמו כאילו הוא יצא ממצרים. And you picture yourself crossing through and wandering the desert. Can you feel the wind support you as you go? Do you hear the cries of those left behind, still hoping for tomorrow? Do you fear the mountain you still have to climb? V'chol dor v'dor lirot et atzmo כאילו יצא ממצרים. בכל דור ודור לראות את עצמו כאילו יצא ממצרים. יצא ממצרים. יצא ממצרים. יצא ממצרים. יצא ממצרים.
That piece was by Noah Aronson and Alana Arian.
Just beautiful. That's a keeper. That should be a Passover tradition. 180, Hallel. Hallelujah. Let us praise the infinite and eternal, who is beyond all hymns and songs that we can utter, yet dwells among us.
Let us thank those who came before us. With poetry of praise, we link ourselves to all of them, from the singers, psalmists, and musicians of the ancient altar to countless ancestors at family tables like ours. Like them, we drink deep from the cup of tradition.
All sing praise Yah, all nations. Praise God, all people, a song of exaltation. God's love overpowers us. Unending is God's devotion. We all say, Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, Adonai kol goyim, shabechuhu kol haomim, ki gavor aleinu chasto, ve'emet Adonai leolam. Hallelujah.
So everyone make sure they grab their fourth cup of wine. And on page 194, redemption is not yet complete. And so, recalling words that have shaped us as a people, we raise the fourth cup, and with this cup, we accept the task of justice and tikkun that still await us. And we honor the purpose of the Jewish people to affirm our covenant with God who freed us from slavery, and to open doors of hope to all, as it is said, "V'lakachti etchem li la'am."
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Chava to introduce our ending for you.
Well, my friends, this has been such an amazing and uplifting experience, and let this kind of ending be a symbol of the new paradigms of freedom and of expansion that we're creating in our community. Hearing the women's voices, and I mentioned before that Nurit Hirsch was the composer of this great Oseh Shalom that everyone knows and loves. So she inspired many composers over the generations to compose their own Oseh Shaloms, and so in honor of that and our voices, and for freedom and peace, we will sing a Oseh Shalom medley. Join with us. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'yimru amen. Sing with us, Yailai. Yailai, lai, 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 yailai, lai, 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 yailai, lai, 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 yailai, lai, 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 lai. Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom, bimromav. Oh, say shalom, bimromav. Hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
And so now our Seder nears a close. It is so good to have had the opportunity to come together. To my colleagues, next year in Jerusalem, not by Zoom, not by might, but this great power that draws us together as Jews to share our combined talents, to share the sense of community that we yearn for and that we create not only in our hearts, but through the power of technology, the power of prayer. And so we say, L'Shana Haba'ah B'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem.
L'Shana Haba'ah B'Yerushalayim.
Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim.
Haba Yerushalayim.
Shana Haba Yerushalayim.
Shana Haba Yerushalayim, everyone.
Thanks everyone for coming. Really appreciate you coming. Thanks to Eric for doing all the tech stuff. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. It was a beautiful service.
Very beautiful, and thank you for all the lovely music.
Thank you. It was lovely. Just absolutely lovely. Have a good eat.
Thank you to everyone.
תודה רבה.
Thank you, Rabbis Cantor. Thank you, everyone. Beautiful service.
Again, thank you to everyone for participating and sharing the beautiful music with us all. I want to know if it was recorded where we can actually see it again, because I missed a good portion of the beginning.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for a wonderful service.
I've got a recording if anyone needs.
Honey and I really enjoyed it. It was a pleasure to be with you.
Another rabbi recorded it.
Beautiful, beautiful service.
It was a beautiful service. Thank you.
Thank you for a wonderful service.
Okay.
Hey guys, thank you. That was really fun.
Thank you.
What was that?
I know that laugh.
I just want to say thank you for states together to have, this beautiful Seder, at least virtually together. So thank you. Beautiful job.
Truly.
Thank you for a wonderful service. Yeah.
This took a lot of effort on everybody's part. I really appreciate this.
My friends, I'm going to bring this gathering to a close. Have a wonderful evening and see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Eric.
Cheers, Eric.